You don't tire like
Morning. Welcome one more time to Encounter TV and to a beautiful program, Family Life, where we talk about the godly concept of marriage with Pastor Mary and Godfrey. She's always looking beautiful. She's here today in the studio with us. Mommy, how are you, ma?
I'm very fine. Good morning to all our viewers. We love having you in our program. Enjoy yourself.
Okay, today's segment is quite different. We actually did not have a program last week Wednesday, and we're sorry for that because we're trying to cook up something new for you. We had to go to different places to get content for us to actually talk about this topic. The topic we were supposed to address last week was building a lasting marriage, and today we are actually trying to see how we can now talk about a lasting marriage from a perspective of those who have lasting marriage. Did you hear what I said? Talking about lasting marriage from the
Okay, so
perspective
those who have
who are,
walked down that lane.
yes. So we interviewed two sets of people. We interviewed the first set of persons who had 46 years in marriage. We interviewed the second set of people who are 26 years in marriage. God is faithful in their life. And I'll let them introduce themselves. I'll actually play out the video of where we did the interview for you. And now we'll do an analysis from the studio. So I'm going to hand it over to the studio where we'll now talk about the introduction of these people. Thank you very much.
My name is Gladys Aleka. I'm 44 years old. 64 years old. 64 years. I have been married for 45 years. I'll be 46 now. With my lovely husband, caring husband.
It's a gospel alika. I was born 1942. 1942.
1942.
Yes. And I enlisted into the Nigerian police in 1966. Before the war. Incidentally, during the war, I was among the mobile policemen from Mopotu, Lagos, to the war front. It was compulsory. We were drafted to the war front, and I was in one brigade headquarters, commanded by General Shoa. One General Shoa. He was in charge of the one DIV headquarters, and ID Bisola was the brigade commander, and Colonel Dinka, the man who killed Murtala Mohammed, was my battalion commander. After the war, around the war ended in 1970, but about almost the end of that 1970, I returned back to Lagos, and we went back to the police to continue the service. You can see my picture there.
Good morning, viewers all over the world.
Okay, that's one of our viewer, and I would love to say that that's Mr. Alika, and they are 46 years in marriage. They have a lot of insight to give us today. I'll go back to the studio to continue the introduction so we can play the second part of it, so we can now see the second couple. Can we take on the second part of the introduction?
Unity. There will be love from your wife's side and from your side. There will be love. In most cases, like me, some of my relations were feeling that my wife was controlling me, when in fact my wife was not controlling me. They were because of the amount.
My name is Stella Uchenwankonye Mrs. We've been married for 26 years to the glory of God, and God has been faithful. He's still counting. To God be the glory. A whole lot have passed. A whole lot has happened. But God has been faithful. He's been seeing us through. We are still holding on to Him. We will never stop holding on to Him. We want to appreciate God for how far He has brought us. And we thank Him for everything. Thank you.
I'm Mike Wankoya. That's my wife. I call her my sugar baby. We got married on the 21st of February 1998. But before then, we didn't have a very long, courtship. Maybe courtship of about 6 months. But we were both bankers. We met in the industry.
Okay, that's the next couple we're actually doing an analysis on today. That's Mr. Mike Wokonye and Mr. and Mrs. Alika. Now, we've been able to now get to an introduction on both of them. So quickly, based on our time, we'll now go into the first questions we requested both of them to answer was coping with in-laws. They've been married for 26 years, so how did they cope with their in-laws? We'll hand over back to the studio so you can actually get an answer to that.
Thank you very much. Pertaining to how you cope with your in-laws, always remember that when you marry, you're not just married to your husband, you're married to the whole family. For me, it was like an extension. They are already part of me because he came from the alliance. For my mother-in-law, it was very easy to cope with her. She was like my second mother. And I just had in mind that whatever I know my mom will love, I showered it on her, even more than my own biological mother. So she didn't see me from the onset. The first day she saw me, she never saw me or took me like a daughter-in-law. She took me like her own biological daughter. And I flowed. Coming to my brothers-in-law and sisters-in-law, the same way, I never had a brother. So my husband's brother was like my senior brother that I never had. So I so coped that like, oh, he's my senior brother. Whether in-law or no in-law, he's my brother. And whatever I know my brother will like me to do, I did it to him. And I did it for him without looking back. So I did never see them or see him as a brother-in-law. I saw him like a biological brother. So it was I just slipped through easily with them. Then coming to my sister-in-laws, the same way. I had 2 other sisters. It's just like I'm just having 2 more other sisters to add to my biological sisters. And I know I have a good relationship with my biological sisters. So it was very easy for me to still flow with them, which most people force themselves to flow. But to the glory of God, because of my husband that I love, I didn't segregate. I made sure the same love I showed to my own biological brothers, sisters, and parents, I did not fail in showing them too that same love. And so it became so easy for me, to the glory of God. And they're also supportive. In the time of waiting, they held on to our desire that these children will come. And they actually came, and they were all happy, to the glory of God.
I would like to make it absolutely clear. Throughout these 46 years, I never had an issue with my wife that will make me to go to my in-laws or tell my parents about challenges. The most important thing in marriage, you must carry your in-laws along. Very, very important. Carry your own in-laws along. We have a parable in my place. You don't just marry the woman, you marry the woman, you marry the father, you marry the mother, you marry the brothers, you marry the sisters. That's what I mean, carrying all of them along. When you carry them along, there will be unity. There will be love from your wife's side and from your side. There will be love. In most cases, like me, some of my relations were feeling that my wife was controlling me, when in fact my wife was not controlling me. They were because of the amount or the volume of love I have for her parents. Because I take her father as my own father. Her own father becomes my father. Her own mother becomes my mother. And I make sure that from time to time, every year, I must do something for them, like sending things for them for Christmas. It doesn't matter how small it may be. If there is money, sufficient money, I buy them materials like cloth. I say, Daddy, take this. For example, if it's a farmer, you buy a machete, you buy 2 machetes. You buy file, because without file you cannot be able to brush. You buy like 2 matches or 3, you buy files. You get some money and give to them. All these things will ginger them to know that their in-law is interested in them. And sometimes when you visit them, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. They will provide you with some yams, provide you with some banana, plantain, as a fruit of the effort you made to assist them. They pay you indirectly, and you have to accept it.
In marriage, you say there will always be interference. There will always be interference, and interference can come in so many ways. First, when the expectations from one side, from the couples, is beyond what the couples can carry. And again, you see, people are just getting married. The Bible says the man shall leave father and mother and cleave to the wife. But you see that most marriages, parents don't allow their children to live. Now, they are married, they are gone, but it is not. Yes. But yet, they still want to be possessive. You see, a mother wants to be possessive to the son. He's my son. But your son is married to another woman. Before, envy, jealous. It's like she married my son and has taken my son away from me. But that is not what it's supposed to be. And this can lead to so many things. So maybe, my son does not call me like he used to call me before. And my son is showering so much love on her. I breastfed him. I carried him 9 months. Right? And my son now, she's enjoying so much. She's driving a Jeep now. So you see that their eyes.
Counter effect.
Good. So these are the things. The way it's happening from mothers and father-in-laws, the same way brothers and sister-in-laws. They will refuse to allow their brothers to go and live a good life with a wife, or their daughters to go and have a good life with the son. So until people come to the realization that when people are married, like the Bible says, leave your father and mother, please allow them get married. They could make their mistake, let them experience it, grow experiences from their mistakes. Interference is so much. it has become so difficult to stop people from interfering. And again, the couples themselves also get married and they refuse to detach. It's not only coming from parents. Couples get married, they refuse to detach. A situation where a man is married to the wife, but everything that happens between you and the wife, you are calling your mother, "Mommy, my wife cook okra." And mommy will ask, is it sweet like my own? Oh, mommy, my wife is like, "Oh, mommy, you must cook like my mother." So you are calling your mother to tell her everything that happens between you and your wife. Or the wife is calling the father or the mother to tell him also everything that goes on in their new young family. You are exposing your family. You are exposing your marriage. You are exposing your marriage to so many things, interference. The same way you are doing it, you are also calling even to friends. Your circle of friends. Whatever happens in the home, you go to where you hang out and you are discussing it among friends. You are selling your wife, right, to your friends. The wife is selling the husband to the friends. And what happens at the end of it? They will advise you. Because whenever you bring your matter to a man in a drinking club, he will give you a drinking club advice, how you will treat your wife. When you discuss the issue of your husband to your parents, they will advise you based on what they know. It may have worked for them, it may not work for you. The same way you carry your wife's matter to your place of work. Of course, they will advise you on how they want you to handle it. Beat your wife may not be the best advice. The person advising you, your wife, you mean your wife tell you, why you no slap her? When you land and slap, you no go repeat them. Maybe that may not be the right thing to do. So people keep, either you are the one exposing your marriage for outsiders to interfere, or you are listening too much to people.
Wow.
Very insightful teaching. Very insightful teaching. I just hope people watching us out there will pick one or two lessons from this. What Daddy said is, shield your marriage. Shield your marriage. This is one of the problems many people face out there. They like to expose their marriages to third parties. It could be your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters. Daddy used one word. He said, a man should leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, and they become one flesh. Husband and wife out there, learn to cleave. Learn to shield your home. Protect your wife as a man. And you as a woman, protect your husband. There are things people should not hear. There should be family secrets.
Yes.
There should be family secrets. Things that should be in the house that shouldn't leave to friends, to brothers and sisters. Very insightful teaching.
Wow.
Very key.
Now, we've been able to get very suitable solutions to most of this problem. I think they're able to touch both exteriors, not just extended family, but both friends. So I think we can now actually move into one of the greatest questions we wanted to ask today: challenges in marriage.
Marriage.
Yes.
It's also very inevitable.
Somebody who has dealt with 26 years experience and 46 years
Is the professor in the field.
should be able to tell us how
to handle challenges. Very
So
important.
we'll hand over back to studio as they answer these questions.
Say almost every marriage will always face a particular challenge, which is inevitable, and it's usually pressure. And there are challenges that are born out of pressure, and they come in different ways. The pressure that a particular marriage might face might be different from the one another one will face. Now, you asked me what kind of challenge did I face? And when I say pressure, I think you just heard that we waited for 11 years. But it was good waiting. And when you say waiting for 11 years, that 11 years didn't just come and go. There were pressures. So anybody who will experience 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you are still counting up to 10, will certainly experience pressure that could come from either side. Pressures could come from your in-laws. Pressures could come from your friends. And what are the kind of pressures? You have been waiting. You have been living with so and so person. What are you waiting for? Why don't you try it elsewhere? Pressure could also come from the woman. Of course, she could have her friends, circle of friends. You've been waiting. Are you sure the problem is not from the man? Just like they will also tell the man, are you sure it's not from the woman? And pressures could also come in so many ways that want to make you put hand in something dirty. So we face pressures. We face pressures of like trying to do it in a way that is not the godly way. And at a point, it truly, yes, we did what we call IVF, both within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. And all of them failed. The best hospitals, they're in VI. And then in UK, it failed. Of course, it will enter, and after 2 weeks, you go back to here, it has washed off. And there were lessons learned from it. And the very last one I remembered was we went, a very well-known, or I would say the best then. I don't want to call a name, but the best in VI there. And there, even my former bishop came there, met us, visited us. So it was like all was okay. But when they told me again that after 2 weeks that the thing didn't hold, and I released a statement. I just said a statement, doctor, because we're like friends now. I said, doctor, you will never see me here again. That the next time you will see me, you hear from me, is an invite for the dedication of my babies. And we left. I didn't know heaven recorded that message. We left and flew back to Port Harcourt. And that was really what happened. Truly, exactly a year from that date, we dedicated our twins. From there, God took over the battle. And why did I say there was a lesson learned? If really the first IVF, second IVF, third IVF, or the number worked, maybe today there would have been one doctor on my list I call every day, like trying to give glory to man. But today, no. It worked at God's own time to the glory of God. So we pass through pressures. We pass through gossips, trying to run your wife down, or some trying to run me down, right? Just to make you do, right? To make you do it their own way. So pressure is one thing every marriage goes through, especially when you pass through waiting period. Gossip is one thing every marriage goes through. And now, how do you surmount pressures? You remember what I said, that every marriage must have its own pressure. It could be financial. It could be health pressures. It could be health. It could be financial. It could be job. It could be family pressures. Expectations. So much beyond what the couples can provide. So I just gave you my own instance of pressure. But in all pressures, how couples are able to surmount pressure, one thing, remember, before marriage, there must be a relationship. But now the question is, how can you sustain the marriage and build a lasting marriage? Now there is pressure. How can you surmount it and build a lasting marriage? The key is both couples having faith in one another. Strong faith. That is just the key. Both couples must have very strong faith in one another. That is what helps you surmount pressure. Just like Hebrews 6 says, he said, without faith, it is impossible to please God. In the same way, where both couples don't have strong faith in one another, any little temptation will throw you off balance, and that crashes the marriage. So you are going through your challenges, going through your problem, you need very strong faith on one another. It is that faith that builds the love. It's not just love, it is faith that builds love. And how does faith build love? Faith works with patience. That means whether it's financial challenges, fruitfulness, or whatever, you require patience. And patience works when there is faith. Faith works when you are patient with one another. So all through those, of course, we were patient with one another. And like I said, in each of them, we always come out strong. Why? Because there is strong faith, right? That strengthens the bond. We are patient, and it grows the love. There's tolerance. Right? There's passion for one another. So that is just it.
It's very, very exciting. Exciting in the sense that there is understanding. Understanding is the key word. There must be understanding between the parties. So I say understanding is the key word. And for example, for that understanding to bear fruit, if your salary is 50,000, you tell your wife your salary is 50,000. Tell your wife how much you earn and how to manage it. How do we manage it? And how do we save for the future? So understanding is very important, critical. That is, and love. There must be love. There must be love. There must be understanding. And even when there are challenges, crises, you as the head of the house will endeavor to, correct that situation. Even when there is money, or when there is no money, you let your wife understand the true situation of things. For example, I remember in 1984, I decided to send my wife home to see the parents. I bought everything I needed. I sent them home. I stayed alone. They went home to spend Christmas, maybe spend about 2 months or 3 months. I bought everything that they require. Like in their area, there's a lot of mosquitoes. I bought these mosquito fleets, half dozen, for them to use to make sure they ward off sickness. But after they had gone, I had no money. During the Christmas period, I prepared, I boiled yam, very nice yam, boiled it, ate it with red oil on Christmas Day. I cannot easily forget it. But nobody knew what I ate because I didn't tell them what I was eating or the situation I was facing. I knew it's a critical situation. I ate that yam for that Christmas Day. I was very satisfied. And within a short time, they came back. We continue with our life. So,
Well, for the year, the marriage is not easy, but God make it to be easy. I've been married for 46 years. There will be challenges. You can quarrel, but you will settle. And there is no house where husband and wife did, there will be no quarrel. When one are quarrel, when two of you can settle, The next one is starving your children. No, God cannot do that one. He must, no matter how small it is, you will use it and manage it. That's the best thing we can do. But for my own, any amount we give me, I will manage it with my children. Can go market and buy everything, you eat it. Nobody will know what you eat unless you tell people. That is another thing.
Wow. The interview cuts across a lot of topics. We come to realize that they talked about finance, they talked about a lot of
understanding,
tolerance. There's a lot of stuff they talked about.
patience.
Sacrifice. One of the story that Pa Alika told was to actually bring us to the fact that marriage is all about sacrifice. You have to be sacrificial in nature. You have to be able to tell yourself that I will not do this so that my family can actually do this. You know, it's actually a journey that has to be worked on. So, mommy, what do you think about all the whole things they've been saying? Wow, it's been a very insightful moment.
Personally, what I learned from their story is challenges are inevitable. And building a lasting marriage is a journey, not a destination. It's a journey that requires sacrifice, requires commitment from both parties. Must be ready and also willing to let certain things go. It should not be about you all the time.
Wow. Why the studio is preparing the video of spicing up your marriage, while they're trying to prepare us on the video of spicing up your marriage, I still wanted us to talk about something. The analysis on
Pressure.
Yes. One peculiar thing that Mr. Mike said was they waited for 11 years for a child. They were childless for 11 years. And from what he was saying, pressure came. So I think one peculiar thing about that
challenge,
yes, is that they actually went through it. They are not just telling you that go through this challenge because we feel like this is the key. They had an experiential knowledge on how these things work. Being childless for 11 years from a very big family. Both families are big and well-to-do, so there's no way that you tell me that pressure didn't come from both sides.
Both sides.
You know, the man was saying something, he didn't want to really dive into it, but was saying something about telling him, the people were telling him that
all manner.
Why don't you try
outside? You know? People say go outside and test yourself to know who has the problem.
Today they have, I think, 11 children. Yeah,
it should be nine
children.
9 children.
They have 9 children, and that goes a long way to tell you that waiting is not just
not wasting. Not wasting.
Yes.
God has the timing for every home.
Yes.
And that is why couples should base their marriage on God. God should be the bedrock of your marriage, because nobody will tell you the kind of challenges to expect. And in marriage, you are confronted with different kind of challenges to each family.
Yes.
So you are not going in and say like mine will be financial.
I've mentioned in this show that during my marriage counseling, I think it's still fresh. We had everybody. When you go and see somebody and tell them, okay, uncle, I'm getting married and stuff like that. Apart from my marriage counseling,
and they begin to advise you.
Everybody begins to advise
you
from
based on personal
experience. You realize that most of them tell you, don't do this, don't do that, to make your wife do this, or don't do that. I realize
which might not work in your own home.
It doesn't work in my home.
It might not work in your own home.
I have to take time to find a way to navigate my own home the way I want.
It suits you
God wants
and want to please God.
So
waiting is a serious issue.
Yes.
Waiting. So many homes might not wait for 11 years.
Yes.
See, some 5 years they're already broken already. Broken already.
You know.
So it's really key to learn how to manage pressure as a man.
Joy as you wait.
And finally, we have to know that 1 Corinthians 10:13 says there is no temptation taking us, but such as is common to man. He said, but God will always make a way of escape. So if you anchor your marriage on God, no matter the pressure, no matter the challenges that come your way, God will always make a way of escape for you.
I want to say thank you for joining us. It's actually a very good time to always have you here, but we still have some more topics to cover. So because of time, we want to go down to spicing up your marriage. We asked the couple how they spice up their marriage for 46 and 26 years respectively, and we really needed to know how they
we really need to know how 46 years. What kept you under the same roof? Under the same roof for 46 years.
So let's go back to the studio. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. There are a whole lot that has brought us together this far. First and foremost, sacrifice. I remembered one of the times when we were still working in our early stage of marriage. And I got back from work and I rushed into the kitchen and I was cooking. Why? I wanted to show him so much love, which I know I've been showing him. But he came and he was angry with me for the first time. Say, no. I know how much you have worked in the office. Why will you come back and enter into the kitchen? Even if it's bread and tea that is available, we'll take it together. Please don't do that again. That's sacrifice and love. Most family would never do that. No matter how long the wife has worked, the man can even be back from work as early as 4 p.m. and still waiting to be served food at 7 o'clock. He may even ask for pounded yam at that hour of the night. But his own was not like that. And I said, apologize, only I'm very sorry. Say, no, he knows I've worked tirelessly. Why would I not go into the kitchen? So there's something like sacrifice. I saw it in him. At times when I'm also cooking, I'm so tired, he will come, he'll tell me, honey, sit down. In the kitchen, he'll bring a chair and I'll sit down. And he'll do the cooking. He'll do the washing. He'll say, honey, I know you are tired, sit down. Most couples don't do that. They don't help each other. We help and we support each other, which is a very good one. And so many instances, I can't even remember so many. But I know at the end of the day, this is love. Even in the process, when all those times I was passing through health challenges concerning the treatment, he took it upon himself. He refused me to do anything in the house. He was doing it happily, doing the normal chores of the house and everything. That is love. And that is sacrifice and commitment. We're committed to this marriage because we want it to work. And today we are enjoying the fruits. Thank you.
For me, she's very humorous, and I'm on the opposite side. I have been an introvert right from time, but I enjoy. That does not mean I like it, but I can't change it. I like listening to people, and might talk very less. But you cannot, being around her, my wife, she has no dull moment. So there's something, she has no dull moment. She dances very well. I can be in the house now, she will just start dancing. And I'm enjoying it. She will be dancing, entertaining me. And, entertaining me. So she's humorous. She's somebody that you cannot be bored. So if you are in the office, you remember the smile, because when you get home, somebody is going to smile at you. You are at home, somebody is bringing out, even when you are not in the mood, but somebody is just returning back joy and happiness in you. It's a gift, it's grace she carries. I don't have that kind of grace, but I enjoy it. Right? And so everywhere is lively. No dull moment. She's somebody that carries people's burden. Even if it's the last thing in her, she will rather offer it to you. And she wants to share in people's pain. She wants to share, right? Render support, render advice, assistance, and give out as much as she can give out to support people's needs. And she's not selfish. She has never been selfish to me. We've never been selfish to each other. So we communicate a lot. Our investments that we have today, we did it together. And some people get married and you see either the man is holding back or the woman is holding back. You don't want her to know what you have. She does not want you to know what. But for us, it's a different ball game. There's nothing today I have that I call this is mine. It is us. There's nothing she has that she said this is hers. It is us. It's for us. It's for the family. And our investment is invested. Every investment we have today is in the name of the family name company. And where we are signatories, there is nothing like signatory A or B. Why? Because there is trust. We did it together. Nobody is scared that somebody is going to overpower. No, God forbid. It has never crossed our mind. So there is understanding. You marry a woman who for how many years she has never disobeyed you or told you, no, I want to do it my own way. Right? It requires a lot of sacrifice. I want to do it my own way. No. So it has always been doing things together and creating an atmosphere that is supportive, that encourages you, the man, right? So that both of you can climb to the next ladder.
Wow. Mommy, are you feeling the connection between the couple?
I just felt like I was watching a movie.
Yeah.
It will just go on and on.
Yes.
Great teachings. Pricing your marriage, from Daddy said,
Yes.
doing things together. Doing things together builds intimacy. And there's also something I learned personally now. Sacrifice.
Yes.
Going out of your way to help another person. Mommy said, you should not be expecting pounded yam at 7 p.m. That's a man who is not sensitive.
Yes.
Sensitive to his wife. You both come back from work and you're expecting pounded yam at 7 p.m. That's selfishness. So marriage is selflessness 100%.
Wow.
Selflessness and supporting each other. That's just what I learned personally.
Wow. These are very insightful times, insightful topics. And I hope you're enjoying yourself as much as we are enjoying ourselves. For each time we come into the studio, most times as an interviewer, you don't get to see the facts the way you expect them. You're just trying to see how you can draw out your questions and draw out a response from your those you are interviewing. But now, sitting in the studio and listening to this interview one more time is making me draw out a lot of knowledge from what you're saying.
From their personal knowledge.
I'm going to see how we can actually apply these things in our marriage. And the best thing about this program is being able to apply them. We're going to talk about parenting next. Mr. Mike actually had a lot to talk about parenting. He had deep knowledge. Him and the wife had a lot to talk about parenting. And I realized that parenting is more harder than we thought. It has some itty-gritty.
As a full-time job.
Yes, it has some
full-time job
that we
need to know.
And from a person who is parenting 9 children,
there's a whole lot to learn.
There's a lot of
There's
things
a whole lot to learn.
They have both the male and the female gender. They've seen both young. They've seen the stage of toddlers. They've seen kids. They've seen teens, and they've trained their children to a particular stage. Mr. Alika has trained to adulthood, and
the grandfather also.
He's a grandfather also. So he has a lot to talk about parenting.
He has a lot to teach us.
Let's see how we can actually listen to them on that particular topic. I will hand over back to the studio. Thank you.
Well, parenting it starts from time of conception, children coming, growing, seeing them also grow to become parents. Yes, it's a thing of joy. It's a thing of joy. That is the added benefit and gift God gives in every marriage. So I don't see why it should be a burden or problem. All right? Any marriage, when couples are married and children comes as addition, it's an addition to your joy. It's addition to your joy. And when that addition comes, then you, either the father or the mother, we say no marriage can thrive or survive without sacrifice. So your level of sacrifice grows, both from the man and from the woman. You must do more of it. Sacrifice time to bring up the children. Your knowledge, you must impact it to them. And while you are also doing it, it must not be to reduce the one for your wife. Neither that sacrifice reduce the one you have for your husband. It is when you say, because I'm sacrificing for the children, and at the expense of the man, or at the expense of the man leaves school run, because those are challenges. There are things you must go through. Yeah. Now, what happens? In the morning, we all wake, including the children, by 5. So activities start. While she is busy, preparing what the children will take to school. Sometimes even doing the assignment. By the time for school run comes, I take it up. So you will not leave her to go through the kitchen, preparing the things for their people and what they are taking to school, maybe helping them in the assignment at the same time. And again, without sweater tiredness, handle the school run. No. Once she's done, immediately the school run, I take it up. So she now have a little time to relax before I come back again. So in parenting, challenges grow, but you must know where to give supporting hand to each other. In parenting, it's not just the domestic work, even financial challenges. It also comes with parenting. School fees has to be paid. If both of you are working good, it's an added advantage to the family. Even when both of you are not working, if it's only one person that is working, then just know that if one person is bringing the income, but it's good that you both still sit down and know how to, handle budget based on that income. If you don't, there'll be a problem because you don't know where to prioritize it to. So parenting should be taken as a thing of joy because it's a responsibility that God has given to us, not to punish us, but to give us joy in our marriage. Okay? So it's also to give us joy in our marriage and make us more fulfilled. He said, God's gift and blessings, he said, it makes us rich and does not add sorrow. So why will the coming of children, why will it become problem? We have seen the children coming and then it becomes problem to the marriage. No, it shouldn't be. Rather, it should add more joy to you. Both of you watch them grow. Play your role as a mother and as a father to the children in grooming them. That is the responsibility.
Thank you very much. I want to just chip in 1 or 2 points. I remember in the area of parenting, so many families have gotten all wrong. Let's just use an example. If it's the man that is working, the man will somehow give the children a psych that I'm the one doing this. He takes up upon himself that he's the one doing it. And so the children will never have respect for their mom. They look at it and say, oh, his daddy does everything. My shoe is bought by daddy, my clothes are bought by daddy, and so on and so forth. It will cause division in the home. So also, if it's a woman that is working at that point in time, and you make the children know that everything is on you, the body is on you. the children will also start disrespecting the father. The mindset is the children that be created at that scene is terribly bad. But when you want to do this, please avoid it. Let it be, even when the man is not working or the woman is not working. Let there be a collective thing. For example, like in my house, everything that is bought, the children know that is from mommy and daddy. We don't separate it. Oh, daddy, mommy and daddy bought this. Mommy and daddy did this. And that's how it has been all this while. And so they know. Then some cases, maybe, let's say, Christmas season. No. Whatever is bought in the house is bought by parents, by us. And so they all grow up. Because if we don't know, we are the mirror to our children. That's the same home they also want to build in the future too. And so it's very good to make it do in such a way that the children will believe, put their trust and believe in their parents, both parents, without division. And then at times when the kids, maybe they are naughty, and you see the man supporting the son, or the mother supporting the son who did something wrong, avoid it. It causes division in the home. When something goes wrong, both parents should have one voice, and that's what has kept us together. If my son misbehaves, both of us will handle him. We scold him together, yes. I've never supported him and my husband on the other side. No, we are both on the same lane. When our daughters do something wrong, we both talk to them. We counsel them. So that has also brought us together. And the children know. And whatever they will tell me, I'll say no. I'll still bring up to my husband. Oh, only this is what our daughter said. And we both call them and counsel them. So also the boys among them. We call them and we speak in one voice. So parents must learn to speak with one voice so that their marriage will be a good one. Thank you.
Welcome.
We are learning work.
Parenting is hard work.
We are learning work.
Parenting is hard work.
One key point they mentioned more was being on the same
having the same voice.
Yes, that's
having the same voice. Very important.
The fact that the mother says yes, the father says yes. The fact that
and not supporting any child.
You know, and she says something
not supporting
very
any child.
That mommy did not give you, daddy did not give you, mommy and daddy gave you.
Very key for me.
You know, it's more. There are families where probably the breadwinner.
The mom is the one bringing.
No,
okay.
Even on that
okay.
note. I'm talking about even the one when the father is the breadwinner of the house.
Okay.
It is better to actually have that mommy and daddy situation, because why?
So the children does not have a particular notion.
They can have value for the mom.
Very important.
Yes, because I realized that most times women try to give themselves value by trying to be doing extra stuff and said,
which affects the men during old age.
Do you understand?
The old age, they tend to abandon or neglect their father.
If the mommy and daddy situation, the woman
they won't know where it's coming from.
The woman will not need to do the extra. You know, the extra care, the extras. Even if you want to take the children out, your daddy said I should take you out.
Beautiful.
You know, they now feel the care the same
coming
way
from both father and mother.
So
very important.
Even in their old age, you know,
they have the mindset that my parents took care of me.
My parents, not my father.
Not my father or my mother.
Or my mother took
very
care of me.
important.
It's a
very
bad
important.
notion. You know, in my house, there's something I'm trying to implement since I got married. I did talk about my marriage dress more so. And there's something I try to implement. I'm trying to implement financial dependence.
Okay.
Me and my wife have been one boss. And why I try to do that is when children start coming.
And I'm sure they mentioned the joint account.
Yes.
That everything they have is bearing the family name.
Yes. So that
not my wife has this.
When the money starts coming in, or when the children start coming
from one
I don't say, my wife will not say, I want to pay school fees. You don't have, let me pay for them. No.
Coming from one source.
This is coming from the same place. We'll now say,
very important.
Let's pay the children's school fees.
together.
Yes, if both of us come to that common ground, we know that your money is my money is your money. We are not able to.
Which is a major problem in many homes.
Many homes.
Many homes. You
And
could
you
see,
don't know how
you
much
could
it
see,
affects parenting.
That is it.
Because you know
You
we
see
have
wife
children.
doing something behind the man's knowledge,
Yes.
doing something, and when
know-
the man gets to find out,
Women
it becomes a
usually do
problem.
it. The children go
We
to
have
the
so many
father.
happening, so many things like that happening
Yes.
out there.
The children go to the father for money, and the father says,
Go and meet your
"No,
mother.
Not yet. I don't have."
Go and meet your mother.
And probably they go to the mom, and the mom say, "Don't tell your father. I'll take 2K."
Take this one.
You know, don't tell your
What
father.
kind
take
of
2,000.
mindset are
It's
you
not telling the child that
incorporating in your
won't give to
children?
you, but I'm giving to
I'm
you,
giving
you.
you.
Know?
I'm the one who loves you
Or don't
more.
tell your mother. Don't tell your mother. I gave you this money. You take this money. It's actually now bringing.
Parents should
a very-
learn. They should learn that
Yes.
parenting is
A single
joint,
choice.
the
Yes.
corporate thing.
Even if the woman is doing something that you feel like you should not be done, let her finish. Take her into the room and say,
advise her, talk to
don't
her.
Don't act. Instead of trying to rebuke in front of the children, it now cause what the children now begin to feel like they are hated.
That's
You know,
true.
my dad hates me or my mom hates me.
And another point I got from there is be their role model.
Yes.
You are the best role model for your children.
Yes.
You cannot be saying don't steal, don't tell lies, or dress properly when you are doing the opposite.
Yeah,
So
children they
of course,
follow what you
do, not what you say.
Yeah.
They look at you and they pick every
I
minute
was doing an
detail.
analysis in one of my blogs. I'll be dropping the videos soon on my page, Charisma
Okay.
Teachers on YouTube.
Okay.
And we were doing some analysis, parental analysis, and we realized that most children, one of the main reasons we have children actually acting the way they act is because of their parents. If
It's
you want
what
an
they see.
hardworking child, when you are in the
Be the
kitchen,
hardworking mom.
when you're in the kitchen cooking, instead of telling
Involve
the
them
child
in the
to
kitchen.
wash the plate, instead of
Involve them.
most times how you introduce children into cooking is they cook with you. At some point, they grow hold to the fact that they now enjoy it and they can't do it alone. You want them to sweep.
That is it. And they carry them along.
Yes, while they
Carry
are still
them
tender,
along.
you say, go and bring the pack and pack it. No,
And they're learning from
they are
you.
getting used to it. So you see
Not
them waking
doing
up
more of
in the
talking.
morning. I've seen a 3-year-old carrying broom trying to sweep.
Of
And you're
course.
trying to, what
they
are you
can,
doing?
They can
will
arrange
laugh.
their room.
You know?
They can make up their bed.
Yes, you are folding the clothes.
They have to
give
be
them,
involved.
Give them something to do. Then it becomes a part.
Becomes
of
a part of them.
Becomes a part of
Early
them.
enough.
Not that you leave them at a particular stage when they
And-
become
and be
teenagers.
teaching and
You
be
now start
talking
telling-
and
you
be
now start
doing-
telling them, God, at this stage you should be washing plates.
Where they
Why
have
they
to
did
learn,
not
they did not grow with
into
it.
So, based on our time is already well spent, we are sorry. We're sorry for the time well spent, but I believe you're actually enjoying it. If you are giving an audience to speak, you can actually drop a comment on our YouTube, on our Facebook, and actually call us on the numbers on your screen, or drop us an email on. We're getting a lot of emails on certain topics, and we actually like your feedback. We enjoy your feedback. Please keep them coming. But I know that if I still ask you now that should we continue, you tell us to continue, and I love you for it. My mind is telling me that you want us to continue. So while we are continuing, I want us to take the last part of the segment where both couples advised us. They advised on us on certain topics. They advised us on marriage. They advised us on building a lasting marriage. So we'll hand over to the studio to take us on that last part. Thank you very much.
Well, it's maybe summarizing what I've said. First, faith in God, faith in yourselves. Not just faith, absolute faith. For there to be marriage, there must be relationship. Just like the one we have in Christ. You don't just no, there must be relationship. And what creates relationship? Relationship could be there, but what makes any relationship last is the faith you have in person. So for any marriage, any good marriage, you expect a long-lasting marriage, the couples must have a very strong faith in themselves. They must be patient to one another, be patient to one another for the faith to work, and trust is very important. We mentioned sacrifice. You can't be selfish, either as a man or as a woman, and expect a good marriage. Once you bring in selfishness, self into marriage, then that is where unfaithfulness comes in. Right? Once you are not selfish, it means your priority should be on your partner. Always learn to take your partner's feeling as your priority. And once she feels that she's your priority, of course, she will give you the respect, she will give you the honor you desire, and the love will be there, and she will always want to be around you. The same thing for the man. The man will always want to be around you once he feels that he's your priority.
Respect. Respect is reciprocal. Respect your wife. What you know she will not like, don't do it. What you make will hurt her feeling, avoid it. Both of you should respect one another. Love genuinely. Let her love and your love be at equal path. Don't let her be so much, because you hear some women, he's treating me this way because I love him so much. So, but let your love be equal. Let your love be equal. When it is equal, she will not want to hurt you. Neither we want to hurt him. So it goes like that. Thank you.
My advice for them is that they should have the fear of God, first and foremost. When they have the fear of God and they are serving God faithfully in truth and in spirit, there's tendency for God's intervention to let them know where they are going to. That is the person they have chosen, whether it's the right person they want. The challenges most of the women particularly they face now is that they are desperate to get married, very desperate. Because they are desperate, they fall victim. There is no fear of God. Their desperation will make them to have carnal knowledge with the man that wants to marry them. And that man may dump them. And when he dumps them, they will be angered because they don't have the fear of God. If they have the fear of God and the man says, I'm going to marry you, let us go to bed, and you have an option. No, if you want to go and see my parents, I want to be sure. They will know that you are serious. But when you fall, they can dump you. You have no other choice than to begin to roam about. And another thing again, many of them they say they want to enjoy life. They want to enjoy life. They will be flirting from one man to the other. They will be making money. But at a point, they know time is running out for them. The flower must go down. Incidentally, they will go and hang on with somebody. And that one will be a disappointment to them. My advice to them is that they should know God. The most important thing is to know God and is to serve God and wait upon the Lord until their own time comes. Because during our own time, we were not focusing on wealth and riches. Now they are focusing on wealth and riches. They want somebody who has built mansions, who is riding big cars. That's what they are looking for. They are not looking for people who are trekking. They are not looking for people who are riding bicycle or riding motorcycle. They are not looking at people who are riding keke. They are not even looking for people who are riding small cars. They want people who are riding big cars. And that's why there is a lot of criminalities all around. Criminalities, rituals. The greatest number of people who fall into ritual sacrifices are girls, women, girls. The greatest number. If it is to be calculated, they are mostly girls. They fall victim. And the introduction of this high-powered phone has created more challenges. It is good, but it is bad. It's 75% worse 75% bad. Because with this, you can be driving and be making call to a girl or anyone. Accident will happen and you will claim so many lives just because you are making calls. Some are not accepted. So my advice for them is to desist from it and look unto God. God will control them and will teach them.
Marriage is endurance. You can endure. It's not extend like that. When you have problem, run to God and pray so that God will see you through.
When you have problems, run to
Run
God.
to God.
That God will see you through. There's a lot of things about this advice they give to us. Very insightful time. Mommy, so you have some things to tell us too now.
Well, I just say in conclusion, building a lasting marriage requires effort, commitment, and dedication from both partners. I'll just go through some strategies in addition to all we've heard from our father and our mother, and that is communication. Open and honest communication is essential. You have to tell us exactly how it is. Open up to your partner. Don't hide things. Don't hide your feelings from your partner. Act and listen actively. Listen actively. Both passive and that's passive behavior from your partner. They might not tell you what is the problem, but from your observation, you can get to pick one or two behavior patterns. The next one is trust. You have to be reliable. As a husband, as a wife, you have to be reliable. You have to be honest. You have to be transparent. Trust is broken, that marriage is gone. Rebuilding trust is not as easy. It's a difficult thing. So trust is essential. The next one is respect. You must have mutual respect. The husband must respect the wife. What you don't want to be done to you, you don't do it to another person. Respect your wife. And you as the wife, respect your husband. Emotional intelligence is another one. You have to bond. Do things that will build and foster intimacy in your home. And the next one is teamwork. Like we heard from our daddy, it says support. You have to learn to work together. If you begin to work, this is my work and that is his own work, you will not achieve the same goal and on time. So teamwork is key. Intimacy, like I just said, building intimacy, both physical and emotional intimacy is key. Forgiveness and apologies. You have to learn to forgive each other. Marriage is a school for offenses. School for offenses. Offenses must show up in your marriage. So you have to learn to forgive and on time. Share values and goals. Align your values. You have to work together. Your belief, work together. Support and encouragement. Flexibility and adaptability. You must not be rigid. As a man, don't be too rigid. As a woman, don't be too rigid. You must learn to shift grounds at times. The marriage is not all about you, and it's also not about your husband or the wife. You must have to shift grounds. And the next point is conflict resolution. You must learn to develop a healthy conflict resolution. Address issues constructively and on time. Next one is gratitude and appreciation. Learn to appreciate little things, no matter how small. Don't take things for granted. Don't take your spouses for granted. They do something no matter how small and insignificant it may look, appreciate. It will make the person want to do more.
Yes.
Appreciation is key, and commitment and loyalty. My final point.
Wow, so insightful. What an insightful section. For those of us who are actually wondering if they can get the full video of Mr. Alika and Mrs. Alika's interview, we'll be rebroadcasting it on Saturday. Just the interviews. We'll do the full interview on Saturday by 10 a.m.
Okay.
I think it will elapse through 12.
Okay.
We'll just cue you to play we'll just make it come up from 10 till 12.
To 12.
So you to get the full interview. There are some gist we could not actually bring up of the allocated. Our time is fast spent. I want to say I love you. for joining us. For those of us commented online, I love you, Precious. I see you, Nicole. I see you, Victor White. I see you. And a lot of you are still joining us just right now. We had a beautiful time with building your lasting marriage. We love you until we come your way next time. I still remain your very own media apostle.
Next week for anything.
Don't miss we have something new for you next week.
Something very interesting.
New, drastic, and interesting. If you're following us on Encounters, if you want to get to know you, want to get to love you, so send us an email, send us a WhatsApp message on that or number, so we can get to know our viewers, we can interact with you more. If you have a conflict you want to resolve in your own home, you can send us a message too, and we'll find a way to bring it up here in the program, and we can find a resolution to it. Thank you so much. We love you dearly as our viewers, and we want to say until we come your way next time, I still remain your very own media apostle, Charisma Visuals, and with my mommy, Pastor Mary and Godfrey.
Thank you for joining us.